We love horror movies from the 70s and 80s, and we watch them for 2 days straight, and then we go write a book. Now we're looking back at every title, one at a time, in this podcast that we put out monthly. Once we've had an episode for every movie, it's time to meet up for another Shock Marathon. Hello and welcome. The red record light is red, which means we're recording a special edition of the Shock Marathons podcast. I'm Matt Farley here with Tom Scalzo.
Hello.
And Charlie Roxburgh.
Hello.
And this is the Q&A episode that we've been threatening you guys about for months now. It's finally happening here, February of 2015. And boy, am I excited. A little interaction after 15 episodes of us talking to you. You're talking back to us, and it's pretty darn exciting. I guess we just get to it, right, Charlie?
Yeah, why not? Let's go for it.
Okay, Charlie's going to be the question asker, and then we'll just kind of take turns. We're all going to answer each question, I guess, right, Charlie?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, you're pretty much in charge of this one, Charlie. Just take the reins.
So, Owen, who likes to listen to our podcast and watch our movies, was very good to ask us a lot of questions.
Let me note, we needed 10 questions. Like Owen gave us 9, right?
We got even more than that. I think we would. But he really helped us out. We wouldn't have gotten there without his questions.
Thank you,
So, here's one that's pretty good. It is, what is your favorite quote from all the movies we've seen? That's a generic one that people...
Well, that's funny because that Ollie had that same question too. So we're answering both Ollie and Owen, and I got an answer, Charlie, if that's cool.
Okay, yeah, this one might actually be more Ollie, but you go for it. I think I had that noted.
Sorry,
wrong,
this was all Ollie. This is Ollie, this is only your question.
Think so.
Ollie from Australia, a devoted listener too. Thank you for the question, Ollie. And my answer, it's one word. Right. And that one word is spoken by Donald Pleasance in Halloween 5. We haven't reviewed it yet, but it's this wonderful moment where the little girl is so traumatized that she can't speak anymore. And she's having some sort of vision or nightmare, and Pleasance wants to know what's going through her head, and so he just comes bursting into the room with... does he have a chalkboard with chalk, or is it a notebook? Did either one of you remember?
I feel like it's a notebook.
Why do I think it's a chalkboard? But anyway, and he just screams at the girl, right! And I love that moment. One of the greatest moments in film history.
Awesome.
Any thoughts on that moment, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, energy of Pleasance, fantastic. He's not very delicate with the little girl there. It's very fitting of a sequel where you just keep ramping things up. By the time you got to part 5, it was like completely unhinged. Yeah, I think about that a lot, that one. It's so insane. It's very entertaining.
All right. You got one?
Yeah. Well, one of my favorites is from The Devil Master. And Farley?
Is it Charlie get the paraphernalia?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, here's how it goes. And this is perfect. Word for word is perfect. Like, you can't take one word out. Charlie, get the candles out of the trunk where we keep the magic paraphernalia. And when you're picturing Laval say this, it's just so fascinating that he had to add on this awkward where we keep the magic paraphernalia to this guy who obviously is part of their group and knows where it is. Yeah,
it's very a lot of explication, perhaps, I guess.
Yeah, for the audience's benefit. And I just like, too, that they're such low rent cult members or whatever, that it's just like in the trunk of, like. And
I like Charlie's response, which is like, okay, boss, or something, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. And just pick Laval say it, and that actor, fantastic.
It's really magical.
You want to pick one, Tom?
It's really a tough call. I think one of the ones we watched recently was Bloodstalkers, and that's got a few of my favorites in it. I probably have to just say a couple because it's you
Sure.
can't really
Can't
pick
pick
just
one.
one.
No.
I think one of my favorites from Bloodstalker is the Fatal Fascination for Stairways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Danny says it's just magical. He goes into a whole soliloquy about it, but it's completely ridiculous. But once he starts, ever since I can remember, I've had a fatal fascination for stairways. You know you're in for in for some magic.
So good. So good. I still haven't figured that quote out years and years later. Like, if it's a reference to something I don't know, or
I don't
if they were
know.
just trying to get the actor over to the stairway so that they could have that scare moment.
They were
Amazing.
overthinking it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But we haven't reviewed this one either yet, but there's some gems from Curse of the Screaming Dead that I can never overlook. I think one of my favorites is when she says, "I like this hunting business even less than I like the drinking."
Yeah.
And the way she says it too is just magical.
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially the way she says drinking, like the drinking or something.
hunting business even less than I like the drink. And she's so nagging. The drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call.
It's funny. And just one last one I have to throw out there from Rana is one of my favorites when it's a half man, half frog, half I don't know what.
Now, that's a tagline, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's on the box, right?
It might.
That
somebody
might be
says
on,
it in
that
the
might
movie.
be on the box.
But we have
But-
it in the quote section of the book. Maybe it is
Yeah.
also in the dialogue. Maybe.
Yeah, someone
Yeah,
definitely
the old
says it.
man says that. I think.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
we famously stole that for
Yep.
in River Beast.
Yep.
Ito Hootkin says it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Good question.
Okay.
Thanks, Ollie.
Yeah. Okay, now I think this is some more Owen ones. He asks me, did I work on the Fred movies and show? And the answer is yes, I did. Doing visual effects stuff. And the next question is for Farley. Farley, did you really act in 2 Rob Schneider movies?
So on IMDb, it states that I, besides all the movies I've been in, it states that I'm in a movie called Big Stan, I believe, and one other starring Rob Schneider. And no, that's an error. That's an IMDb error. There must be someone else named Matt Farley who mistakenly got his credits mixed up with mine. Not me.
That is a great proof to not trust. Of course, don't trust everything you read on the internet, but also IMDb, because people do. They see it on there and it's just done. They believe it. It's hard to not sometimes, but it's good to know someone who has a firsthand experience. Be like, no, that's just wrong, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a few steps above Wikipedia in its openness to being, misrepresenting people. But still, if you want to, you could put a lot of wrong information up there.
Yeah. Okay. And he also asks this is for all of us. Is there a movie idea that you guys have, but have shelved it for whatever reason?
Okay. Well,
I know one.
go.
There's different titles for it, but Attack of the Ice Yetis, or like an Ice Yetis Christmas. Farley and I were on a long walk
In the
and
snow.
we just in the snow. I remember it was near this big lake where there was a bunch of junk thrown in there, like an old tire, and in New Hampshire. And we were discussing making a Christmas movie so people would want to watch it every year.
Yep.
Like, obviously. Holiday movies are perennial, favorites, and you get new life every year. So anyway, we just thought it would be great to have a monster one, and it involved kind of a Manchester, New Hampshire setting, and Farley was going to play this funny guy who was camping out in a front yard in the beginning, Farley, until your town was declared Christmas
capital of the world. Yeah.
of the world. And there's hurt feelings and infighting, and then everyone has to unite
To defeat the snow yeti. Yeah.
the ice yetis. Yeah,
Ice yeti. Sorry.
yeah. That's okay.
Also, I mean, we do have Freaky Farley too. It's not so much on the back burner that we've shelved it, but we've just decided we want it Freaky Farley 2 will take place the next day, right after Freaky Farley ends, but we're not going to film it until I'm 45 years old.
You just have to wait till it's less relevant. Like, just keep waiting till the demand has gone lower.
I was 28 when we filmed Freaky Farley, and it'll be great to just try to not mention how much I've aged, in a day. So that's going to be great. And the rest of the characters, like Sharon is going to be a ghost in the movie, and she noted she's like a ghost who has aged in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the lyric poet, Tom, is going to have a big role.
Oh, thank God.
It's going to be so fun to take to take a character who doesn't even have a line in Freaky Farley and is only referenced once and make him a major character in the sequel, which is something that they do in our Shock movies, really.
Yeah, that's true.
That could happen. That could happen in sequels easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, you have any dream movie projects you've been thinking of?
I have a few scripts that I've put together in some various forms of completion, but one of them is about zombies on the moon.
Ooh.
Which I think is pretty cool. It's called Dead Side of the Moon.
Nice.
It's a little beyond our capacity to create ourselves.
Yeah, who knows? We'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that movie.
That's a good one, yeah.
Any details on that?
This story involves the Earth running out of burial ground and having to start burying people on the moon, and it goes from there.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's a great scenario. I'm in.
And our next question is, what are your thoughts on Hard Rock Zombies?
I've never seen it. Tom?
I don't think I've seen it either.
I got to tell you, I'm not a big zombie movie fan, and generally when hard rock is mixed with horror, the results do not please me, so my expectations would be low. Yeah,
I mean, the only thing comes to mind is was it Rocktober Blood?
Yes.
Yeah, Black Roses. Of course, that we didn't review Black Roses in a Shock book, but yeah.
Also, New Year's Evil a little bit.
Yeah, but New Year's Evil is awesome.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
All right.
But there's that dark urban feel that a lot of those seem to have. Is like Rocktober Blood is something else. So, but who
could
knows?
Be something. I haven't watched it, but
we'll watch it someday. Life is long.
I do like zombie movies quite a bit. I know I watch a lot more zombie type movies than we usually do in Shock sessions. So I'll definitely keep an eye out for that one.
Thank you.
And he brings up another movie. What are your thoughts on Monster Dog?
Ooh, is that the Alice Cooper movie?
I think it is. Yeah.
I haven't seen that one either, but I've heard good things about it.
I like monster movies. I like dog movies. So.
Yeah, and we've just been talking about killer dogs movies like The Pack and Play Dead. So that's a good one to know about. We'll have to check it out.
Next.
Another movie question. What are your thoughts on Project Metal Beast? He says, I thought it needed less project and more Metal Beast. Which is funny. I might enjoy that because I might like a lot of that project.
I'd rather see Project than Metal Beast. Is that what you're saying?
In a way, we like this. If the project is sort of soap opera-y and full of a lot of good dialogue,
right?
It might be fun. It's some kind of early '90s little creature movie. It looks good. I would watch that. I think it's on YouTube.
Cool.
Right.
So people should look out for that. He also asks, can you guys name a recent favorite horror movie?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see.
That's a good question indeed.
I liked what did I like? I liked the Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows.
Yeah, who doesn't? I mean,
have you seen it, Charlie?
I've seen bits of it. Yeah, it's on my list to watch more thoroughly.
And
again.
I liked Gossip a whole lot too. We didn't see Gossip for the thing, did we?
No, but we enjoy it.
So Gossip, and by recent, both of these movies are like 15 years old. That's my idea of recent.
Yeah.
I mean, should we mention Birdemic at this point?
Yeah, why
I don't-
not? That's a
Nick.
delightful film.
I've been
Yeah.
thinking a little bit about I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I'm amazed that they were able to get in the first one and the second one 2 times when Jennifer Love Hewitt leans over and calls out to the killer, "What are you waiting for?" So I like that moment in those movies.
Yeah. I didn't like. I don't like any Rob Zombie movies that I've seen. What else? I liked the remake of Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Either guys, one of you see that?
I did not
Yeah.
see that.
That was a delightful little film.
Yeah.
Is
I like-
the I like the Roost. That's not too recent.
Yeah, the Roost will count. I like the Innkeepers as well. That had good Connecticut location and good spooky feel.
All right. We don't see a lot of horror movies. I definitely don't.
No, I'm usually watching old like multi-packs, or we're rewatching all these shock ones now.
I liked Disturbia, which again is not that new either. But it's this century. Either one of you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's a delightful Rear Window update. It's not really horror. I guess it's a thriller.
Yeah. Okay. He also goes on to ask, which Evil Dead is your favorite, which is a difficult question to answer. Kind of depends on, for me, it sort of depends on my mood, because I like them all. Sometimes I'm thinking, the first one is just, I can't believe how well they were able to make this movie in the middle of nowhere with such little resources. But the third one has such great one-liners and such great comedy that I tend to lead toward the comedy side of things. I probably like Army of Darkness the best.
I'm not a big fan of the whole series, and I've barely seen any of them, so I'm not going to comment on that one.
Tom?
Your favorite Evil Dead movie?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess Evil Dead 2 is my favorite. That's the one I saw first, and
Okay.
I feel like Evil Dead 1 was a little too serious, and Army of Darkness is a little too silly. The Evil Dead 2 is a good right in the middle.
That's a good point. Evil Dead 2 was a great thing to rent and take home during the VHS era and watch. For some reason, one of my favorite rentals ever, I think. All right.
And can I say one more addition? I forgot. I had just watched a movie called the Call of Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the Lovecraft story. It's like a silent kind of movie, like shot like an old timey like 1920s style stuff with with titles on the screen and everything, and some interesting animations and things. And it's more like psychological horror, but it's really good.
Wow. Does it take place in Providence?
Yes.
Cool.
All
right. Next question. I think Halloween 3 is the best sequel in the series. Your thoughts?
Wow. I don't hate Halloween 3. I know some people really do, but if you go into it without high expectations of it needs to be Halloween again, it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Farley?
Yeah, you have to get over your initial shock of the fact that Michael Myers is not involved. But if you just view it as a standalone movie, it's like a perfect shock movie for us. It's got lots of it's kind of got a professional revenge seeker sort of, right? The doctor, that guy's kind of just out on a quest. Is that right, Charlie? I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I would say that he's like a professional revenge seeker, and he gets with a much younger woman, which is kind of a shock setup, and good location, like a unique setting in that seaside town where there's a factory with the weird Irish guy, and it's a wonderful movie.
However, I'll take Halloween 4 over any of the sequels. And I'd go 4, 2, 3, 5, and then I don't even know about the rest of them. But I like up 1 through 5 are wonderful.
Yeah, they're great. First one's my favorite, which is a boring thing to say, but it is. He also asks, "Are you filming digital for your next movie?" And the answer is yes.
Yep. So we filmed digital for River Beast, and prior to that, the other two were Super 16. But yeah, we're sticking with the same equipment we used for River Beast, considering that it stays together, and it should.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He also asks, in that line of thought, will any of your films ever come out on Blu-ray? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think that format might go away before anything comes of it with our movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely we'll just post it in HD somewhere, which is the same quality as Blu-ray, right, Charlie?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I mean, might be a little more compressed, but yeah.
Yeah, so probably not, but who knows? I mean, if
we have HD masters of
Manch
Vegas and River Beast. We don't have a true. We'd have to rescan the negatives on Freaky Farley, which is if it, like an benevolent billionaire comes to us one day and says, "I think Freaky Farley never got the any attention it deserves. Can I give you this?" Takes out a gold coins or something. Then we would do it. But other than that, I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. On the topic of Freaky Farley, Owen asks, Freaky Farley, I feel, had a Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 vibe. Was this on purpose, or am I just being weird? And the answer is no, you're being observant, because we totally watched Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 and said, we love this freaking movie. How can we, follow its blueprint and get its essence into something of ours?
And what's beautiful about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is it takes the best parts of part 1 and edits it down to half a movie, and then only has to make another half of a movie after that. And so that was our approach. We're like, let's imagine Freaky Farley 1 was made, but we'll only film the best parts, and then we'll pick it up from there. But, I mean, it's completely Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I sent it to the director, and he hasn't gotten back to me. But I emailed him. He gave me an address where I could send it, you know? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I've gotten a restraining order, but that's it.
He just liked it so much he didn't know how to put it into words. It was like, just let it be.
I'm joking about the restraining order, but Tom, it's uncanny. It's shameless how much we steal, right?
Yeah, but
it's an homage.
Yeah, it's an homage. It's not stealing. Because we're not just mining old movies to find a way to take advantage of them. We love these movies, and we want to just be a part of it, and we can't retroactively be there for the filming, so we try to recapture it.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We try to recreate the situation in which those movies were made, and then go for it, and hopefully we'll have the same kind of happy accidents that all those movies have.
Yeah, I mean, in Silent Deadly Night 2, they didn't have a lot of budget to give them production value, but they had a lot of energy and eyebrow movements from the main actor.
Yep.
So he plays that thing so over the top, so entertaining, so funny, so colorful that it really sticks in our mind. It becomes, I mean, I want to watch it now. That's how much I like it,
Yeah. It's a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. Okay. Continuing on, he asks us, what's your current favorite Bigfoot movie? Mine is still Abominable, that one that we mentioned from 2006, with Night of the Demon being a close number 2. That's my favorite. Night of the Demon is my favorite Bigfoot movie.
Oh, that's a tough call.
Creature from Black Lake. No question.
Yeah.
No question.
That's your favorite?
I think that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Night of the Demon is up there, but I feel like Night of the Demon has some spots in it that drag down a little bit, and Creature, I'm pretty much just happy the whole time.
Yeah, Night of the Demon doesn't have Pahu.
Right, it doesn't have Pahu.
That's true.
It has Crazy Wanda.
Oh yeah, and Carlson, the old stodgy, mean.
We're talking 1 and 1A, but
Yeah.
It's
And we haven't talked about it yet, but Snow Beast is magnificent.
yeah, with Gar and
With
the old
Gar,
lady.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's made for TV. It's not quite the same, but
Yeah, and he is he might be a is it different if he lives in the snow, if he's Yeti, or are those semantics, or is there
that's a good point.
it's
diehard
six and
fans?
1/2 dozen the other. What about also the early '70s Bigfoot with all the hippies and I like the girl who's tied to a tree.
Yeah.
Talking like with some scientific jargon. She's like, it might be the missing link.
And she says it's so hard to escape them. They have such an acute sense of smell and whatever, something like that. I love her.
It's practically subhuman, I think she says at one point too.
Yeah. We like that
Wow.
movie.
A lot of good Bigfoot movies.
Yeah. Okay. Running on here. Have you seen the short Bigfoot film called Eagle Walk? It's great. I haven't seen it. Have you guys?
No.
Okay. He asked us if we believe in Bigfoot.
I say, why not? You know what, folks? We have not. A lot happens after dark that we're not aware of.
Yeah,
He's out there.
I just finished reading the story of the folk monster, which is the monster from the what is it, the Buggy Creek movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that book, it raises a lot of questions, and if you're open-minded, I think you'd be thinking there's definitely something out there after you finish that.
Heck yeah. Charlie?
All right. Good. Yeah, there's a lot of deep, dark woods out there, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good question, though.
He's out there. He's out there. And
Yeah.
several of them are out there.
He makes for a good movie creature, for sure. Okay. What's your thoughts on the current state of horror movies? That's a long question. Generally, I don't like them, but there's a couple good ones, I guess. I want. I don't know. You guys could take this. This is a long discussion about this if we wanted to. But
Tom, you can start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a ton of recent horror movies. It seems like the trend is more toward like torture and really extreme violence and gore, and less on like the fun setup stories and colorful characters and things that we really like. So there's not as much to draw you in and keep you wanting to watch it over and over again.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stay away from the torture. One thing that is of interest to me is there's slightly more thrillers, but there's movies like I think it's called The Perfect Getaway about some hikers in Hawaii. Have either of you seen this? With Steve Zahn. It's a delightful thriller / horror that I found great. And then there's movies like I Know Who Killed Me with Lindsay Lohan, which no torture whatsoever, but are truly magnificent and really would fit into the shock canon. I highly, highly, highly recommend that. So in terms of popular horror, I'm not liking all that extreme violent stuff, but there's these little movies that slip in, especially I Know Who Killed Me. I highly, highly recommend this movie. It's superb, and really, what do you need? You need a handful of movies like that every year or so to keep the magic alive, and they're out there. There are a few of them out there.
Somehow something happened in the time of the drive-ins to the VHS boom to now, where in the 70s and up to the 80s, you had people who were older guys like McCulloughs, like Don Dohler, making stuff in their yard. Maybe even like the guy who made the girl with the gold boots and Astro Zombies, Ted V. Michaels, making stuff in their house and like in their yards and stuff, where you felt like you knew the people because you kind of saw them making a homemade movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that kind of movie that much anymore in a current horror movie, where I feel like, that's very low budget. Yeah, and that's them and their friends.
The magic was that they filmed it at their house, and it somehow ended up on screens and in video stores. It got legitimized and was right alongside major pictures somehow. And now that almost completely doesn't happen. Like it might get posted to YouTube or something, but
It'd be hard to find.
you're not going to make the mistake of thinking it's the next Halloween movie, which is what happened in the 80s, though. You know?
Right.
Yeah. But I like that kind of movie, which doesn't seem to exist much anymore. So I don't watch that many current ones. Okay. He also asks, any thoughts on David Heavener? I call him the one-man movie machine. He seems to do just about everything in his movies. I looked him up on IMDb real quick. It looks like he's pretty prolific and does a little bit of everything, like writing, directing. I think he even did the music one time or something. Haven't seen any of his movies, but you guys?
Haven't heard of him, but thanks for the tip.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not either.
Yeah. I'll look him up. Okay, he also asks, this is Owen still, a more selfish question. Any chance Matt would do a theme song for my In the Works podcast?
Of course. Yeah. 603-644-0048. Send me a text and we can get the ball rolling. Happy to do it. That would be great.
Okay. So our next question we got from two people. Not worded exactly, but pretty close. Both Ollie and JEA Wallace asked us if we had any place that was a filming location from one of the Shock movies that we want to go to and make a little documentary about the area. Kind of like we did with Friday the 13th, Part 2, when we were in Connecticut that one time. I know we had mentioned Ants during our Ants podcast would be really cool to go to.
Yeah.
Do you want to go, Tom? Do you have anywhere that you think?
Yeah, I want to go to the place where they did Bloodstalkers.
Down in the Everglades.
In the Everglades. It's just, it feels like if you go there, like you might not make it out.
Yeah.
It's a weird
real.
looking place. Yeah.
Oh, I'd go to that gas station and get like a soda or something.
Yeah, go to the church and like sit in on the late night like choir session.
Oh,
that would be
great.
awesome.
Wow, good answer, Farley.
I'd have to try to find Laval's castle in the woods there. Where were they? Wisconsin or Michigan? They're in Michigan, I think.
I think it's Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, I think so.
That's from what's it from? What's it called?
Devil Master.
Yeah, from Devil Master, the castle in the woods where Laval says, or the cop says, well, they say a man's home is his castle. In your case, I guess it's true.
Oh, so good. Okay, and my pick is Night of the Demon. I want to get in a boat. We could all rent a small little boat, cheap. Take it to that inlet and park, and then go explore that cabin where Carlson's place was, and then
the grocery store.
The next logical thing would be to go to Herb's General Store and look
That's
around.
a good quote right there too.
To look around that small town. I bet you that hopefully that hasn't changed much. I really
imagine if we could get a bag from Herb's General Store.
Collector's item.
Yeah. Yeah. What I wouldn't give. What I would give. Yeah. Oh, so much. All right. And Farley, is there anything else? I kind of think that's it. That's all I have on my list. We didn't get any last minute ones.
That's it. Well, it's been fun. This is historic.
Yeah. It was good. I guess if we got some more, we could do another one at some point if they added up to be.
Yeah, another year. Let's take it easy. Another year or two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any other behind the scenes stuff that we have to share with people? We do this via Skype, usually on Sunday nights. That's an interesting thing. We record 2 episodes at a time usually. It's usually around 9:30 on a Sunday night. We'll record for the month that it is and the month that follows, and we try to do themes in the 2 movies. So that's often why you'll hear us reference, the movie we just did before while we're reviewing a current movie.
And I think we usually are trying to track down the original VHS prints. I don't know if there's like extended versions of some of these out there, but we usually don't watch those if
Right.
they
Yeah,
are available.
and if you were watching on YouTube, you never know if this
Yeah, I
is
guess that's true.
edited or what, so it's a little scary. So
Okay.
definitely the VHS is preferable.
And we kind of live in the VHS world, so if a movie came out in America with this VHS title, even if it's not the preferred title, that's still like the one I like to use because that's what we watched it as when we
Right.
first were introduced to the movie.
The theme song is mixed differently for every episode. If you've ever listened, I mix the levels are changed each time because I use this same audio file and I have to realign it, and they're never exactly the same way. Have either of you ever noticed that?
No.
Like, wow, the bass is 4% louder on this version, and the cymbals are a little bit louder on that one. These are the details people have been longing for.
There's some in-depth stuff there.
Tom, tell us about your dormer.
Yeah, I have a room in my home that consists mainly of the old VHS tapes that we've collected over the years, including the plastic bag full of tapes I received as a wedding present from Charlie and Farley.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And that's kind of this. Aside from, I know you guys both have some too, but I think a lot of them have ended up in my house, and that's kind of the source. Every time we have a new marathon, it's going to be mostly from what I've been able to store there.
And Tom tells me I've got a few in my collection that are bringing in hundreds of dollars on eBay, and he also tells me I'm not selling them.
Yeah, you should not sell them. Icebox, you have Icebox Murders, I believe.
Yeah.
You got to keep that.
Yeah.
Curtains, you have some good ones.
Yeah, it's just stuff that we grabbed, and so we have all these movies that we haven't watched for years. We're just saving for future marathons, and it will be many more years.
Yeah, we got a good chunk, Farley, on the road trip in a tanning booth / video rental shop.
Was that in Missouri, or was that Louisiana?
Louisiana?
Okay,
I think maybe Louisiana. And that was really fun. We got a chunk. That was right before people started to collect them that much. They were like considered cheaper, and you could still get stuff off the shelves.
The great days between the year 2000 and 2008-ish were when the video stores were closing. And Charlie and I drove around the country at one point and stopped at video stores. And then, Tom, remember you and I drove all through Western Mass, stopping at video stores. And
Oh, yeah.
there have been many variations of those kind of trips, and it's so much fun. You feel like you're on a mission. And but the best was probably Derry that day.
Yeah, that was just amazing. They were emptying out the store. There was boxes and boxes and tables upon tables of stuff, and everybody there was like scrambling for like Shawshank Redemption or something, and we were like the only people looking at these piles of great horror movies.
You didn't know where to look next. It was just it was too good to be true. And it was close to home. Just this huge tent sale and truck. Moving truck that was not even unloaded yet.
We were going into the truck and looking through boxes in there.
Yeah.
That's what we were. I think we extended our break. Usually we only give ourselves like an hour-long break for shock marathons, but that was like
it was a magical moment.
Exception, yeah.
For the benefit of future marathons, we did it.
Yeah, that was pretty magical. That was good. Yeah, those are good. And now it's over. The magic of going to the video store has been replaced by flipping through endless options on your computer or TV screen and never selecting anything because there's just too much.
You know what I hate? I just sometimes we have to look at a movie for reference on YouTube. I hate rewinding using the interface of like the DVD player or Roku box or something. Even with an okay internet connection, it's totally such a pain, and I long for a VHS when I want to go back and re-listen to some dialogue or something.
Yeah, I cannot rewind. You can't rewind Netflix. You press it, and then it goes back a second, and then you press it again, it goes back 25 minutes.
And everyone's like, "Oh, if you're with multiple people, they're
Oh,
like,
you're in
that,
so much
give me that
trouble."
remote. I know how to do this better." Oh, you do you? Same exact thing happens. Yeah. It's like, do you want to go back one frame or a third of the movie?
Those are your
So
only
you're-
options. And then trying to get back to where you were is a very difficult situation.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Uh,
somehow it's like the video store, like taking a chance on something was such an investment. Like you actually are spending money, you know, that's your evening. If it's not good, you know, you end up mad. But like Netflix, it takes like 1 second to try something different, but it seems like people don't do it even as much as, you know, they did it in the old days. Like you don't try things as
Well,
much.
the thing is, you'd come home with 1, 2, 3 movies, and that's it. You had to watch them. They're your only options. Whereas
Right.
now you're already home, and you have 5 billion movies to choose from,
Right.
and selection is actually a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, because at any point you could say, all I have to do is push a button to try something else.
That,
Right.
And you don't get through maybe a movie that has magical moments.
Yeah, when I'm
Right.
on Netflix, usually I just will watch 10 minutes of a movie and say forget it, and watch 10 minutes of another one and say forget it, and then I just I cry.
Tears. Yeah, then the tears. Same here. I have a couple nice VHSs that Tom made with like, I even have one that you made, Farley, with like just 6 movies on there, 6 of our Shock movies or something.
SLP mode, yeah.
Yeah, just having those even, I feel more comfortable. Like, okay, I know
Right.
I have Stepsisters right here, and I know I can fast forward it. And if I want to, you know, revisit it as you do, I'll just, you know, pop it in, enjoy some Stepsisters.
Yeah.
Not to complain, we're living in a magical time where you have access to so many movies that you didn't have access to in the old days. Just the difference is, you know, there is something lost, a little bit of the magic, and you rented a movie, you were watching that movie. There's no two ways about it. You kidding me? You're sitting through that thing, and the fact that you get through it, then you appreciate something that you would have never seen nowadays.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And the problem too, I mean, I remember when Netflix first started, there was a ton of like more independent horror movies on there, and they are disappearing like by the month. So like a lot of these things are, you know, there's going to be a generation of people who will never even know that some of the stuff exists, because like I don't think Stepsisters is out on any way people could find it right now.
Right.
Maybe it is. I don't think so though.
Well, that happened to us with Match Vegas, right, Farley? I mean, Match Vegas was on Netflix in DVDs.
Yes.
They bought a stack of 30 DVDs from us.
Yeah.
All those DVDs apparently got broken in the mail or worn out or lost or whatever. They ran out of stock. Then Netflix makes a decision if they want to buy it. If a lot of people have it in their queue or whatever, they'll rebuy the discs. But I called them up and I was like, well, you don't have this movie Match Vegas, which I heard is quite good. Would you please purchase this wonderful film for your customers? And they were like, no, you know,
They're like, are you the director, sir?
We go based on demand. And
You're
they
the
didn't
first
want to
person to ask.
They didn't want to spend that little bit of money to get this new movie back in stock. They put all their eggs into the major
Right, exactly.
products basket. So
I would have offered them free DVD copies just to have it out there, frankly.
Yeah, too much paperwork. They probably would say no. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd say no.
Or
but-
warehouse space. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Anyway, but it's a first-hand experience. When you know, Tom was saying, hey, it feels like you can't get access to these weird little movies that much anymore. And yes, that was like a conscious decision that they made, and we know.
Well, I think the future is YouTube. You know, people out there don't make a short little something and put it on YouTube. Make a full-length movie and put it up on YouTube for all the world to see and promote it like crazy. There's that, and I think that's a real option. It looks good, and people have the capability to stream it straight on their TVs too from YouTube a lot now. So that could be something. I mean, and our movie Freaky Farley is right there on YouTube. You should watch it. We'd be honored. And I think if you like the movies that we're talking about, you're gonna love that movie.
Yeah, that's true. So we are in that game because we put our movie on there. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we did it.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right. So we'll be back.
It was.
We'll be back next month. It was very fun. Thanks so much. We'll be back next month. We're gonna do Play. Wait, what are we doing?
Play Dead
And I Love to Kill.
Yeah, also known as Impulse.
Also known. Did you know about that, Tom?
No.
Okay. All right. Signing off for Tom and Charlie. This is Farley saying thanks for listening.